But it's also because our society is not meritorious. So we've created a subculture of, if you are CPP, you are not part of accessing the national cake. That is, if you create value and deservedly so, you need to be rewarded. If you are MPP and it's NDC, you don't take part in getting access to the national cake, deservedly so, if you create value or work to contribute. And so you have to be rewarded. If you are NDC and it's MPP's time in governance, then you are not part of the national cake and you created value, you contributed, you needed to be rewarded. I'm talking about maybe being paid good salaries, etc. And so people want to hoard at the detriment of the nation's development, unlike what happens or pertains in other countries.
Is that the meaning to you of national cake?
National cake is the resources of states.
What is national cake?
The resources of states.
What is it supposed to be used for? Is it
for,
supposed to be used for reward?
For developing.
Exactly. For development, not for reward.
Maybe I'm not using the right terms. I'm not talking about giving handouts.
You are put in a position of authority, like he has been put in the position of authority, to serve the nation, not to serve your individual interest. And that is where the challenge is. Let's stop pussyfooting around. Tell me, in this Fourth Republic, Public Accounts Committee, how many people have gone to jail?
Zero.
In this Fourth Republic, what parties have ruled this country?
MPP and DC.
So where does responsibility lie?
But we've had others go to jail for financial
Where
loss.
does the responsibility lie? The president says, over the years, Public Accounts Committee, they talk about A, B, C, D, E. Isn't it the same parties who have ruled this country? So if we are pointing a finger, where do we point the finger first? To those who have ruled us. So let me ask, the public accounts, do they have prosecutorial powers? Can they prosecute? Two, what is the responsibility of Parliament to the Public Account Committee? Lame duck. Lame duck. Nothing can happen. Nothing can happen. Nothing will happen. Because look at the figures you are mentioning there.
That is scary. If you say nothing can happen, nothing will happen.
Has anybody gone to jail?
Are we that weak?
I said, has anybody gone to jail?
So what are we waiting for?
Has anybody gone to jail?
So where do we break that cycle?
Who heads the parastatals? Who heads the parastatals?
Appointees.
Where do the appointees come from?
The political party.
Aha.
Appointed by the president in consultation mostly with the council of
you
state.
see where I'm going to? You see where I'm going to? The arrowhead comes down to politicians. So you ask yourself the question, when the president has the power to nominate people to different parastatals, is it politicians they should put there? And people would say, politicians are being put on these parastatals for reward. No, be so. You are an NDC. You've been proved. Okay, don't let me use you. Amaliba is NDC. He's been proven. It showed that during elections, he's worked very hard to get the party back. His expertise might not even be in the institution they are taking him to. And so because those expertise aren't there, when he gets there, the sitting tenants who are there, who make sure that these malpractices go on, would try and advise him. Oh, boss, welcome, you're new. A, B, C, D, E are some of the things that we do here. Because he has no idea of how the place runs. What does he do? he falls into it. Because really and truly, if anybody is supposed to monitor, the first point of call should be those who have the responsibility to run that institution and to monitor. And if the Public Accounts Committee is saying the things they are saying, and it even so happens that is the civil servants there, the man on top's head should roll. Will it? No, because it's a politician. It's a politician. Look, I believe that for our public institutions, if people want to head these public institutions, they should apply. They should be vetted. They should apply, be vetted, and the right person be there. And it's not a question of MPP, CPP, NDC come into power, then they move everybody and bring new people in. So far as you have the wherewithal and capacity to handle the institution, you are there, irrespective of whatever political party comes into power. Because you see, we tend to cause financial loss to the state by these changes that we do. And maybe, and I don't know, you probably be able to tell me, the Constitutional Review Committee, maybe they have looked at the powers of the president in terms of nominations.
Yeah,
and have done something about it.
About how powerful the executive president
is. Yes, they have to do something about it, because anybody put in a position of responsibility where the public is concerned should be that kind of person where we know that person is fit for that job. Because the Public Accounts Committee always come and sing this song every year. And look at the figures mounting. Look, those figures that are there, doesn't it show that we don't need IMF? Mm-hmm. Doesn't it show that there's money in this country? Doesn't it show that citizens of this country are being shortchanged? And you go to some country, India. When you go to India, the minister driving his car.
But India to corruption day there.
Corruption day there. Corruption day there. But when you go to places like Delhi, you don't see ministers sitting in flashy cars. You see, the draw of the pomposity of power makes people struggle to get there. They might not have the wherewithal to do the job. But because they are the friend of the president, or they are somebody in the party who is strong, they put the person there. And the person's main intention is to make money. Look, I keep saying, and I'll continuously say, if we don't kill this personal interest scepter that we have in terms of our public sector and the things we do in this country, let's forget it. Because they'll tell you, say, I buy ejuma, I buy sika. Is that why you go and pay bima home? Is that why you go and pay bima home? So if you're an individual and you try to do the right thing, you stick out like a sore thumb. The president is saying there should be a beeline to Nsawam. Yes, there should be a beeline to Nsawam. But remember, in criminal prosecution, what is used is a reasonableness test. And make sure, and you also have to make sure that it is on the prosecution to be able to prove criminality.
Please wrap up for
me. No, it's a proof beyond reasonable doubt.
Yes, beyond a reasonable test.
Yeah, so it says reasonable test.
Reasonable test. And it is up to the prosecution to prove. When the others were talking, you didn't tell them to wrap up. So let me finish.
Okay, okay.
You are noted for.
I'm noted for what? When you're talking, did I say anything? Please stop that. See, let me do my thing.
Okay, so
no, don't go. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me trust him. So he's my junior. He's my junior. He's talking to me like that. We have to be able to give.
I tried in a notebook.
I said we have to be able to give the Public Accounts Committee the power of prosecution.
Okay.
Because let's take it this Fourth Republic. Let's collate all the public public accounts infractions that they've mentioned, and let's see, out of that, how many people have been prosecuted. Look, the moment a party leaves power, and no, I don't know, nobody says anything. Quite recently, were we not shouting on top of the roofs about Kenuforiata? Were we not?
I saw him with a school bag.
I said, were we? I said, were we not? I said, were we? Were we not? He's done this. He's done that. He's done that. Does anybody hear Kenuforiata's? Can we hear Kenuforiata's name anymore? Can we hear Kenuforiata's anymore?
You mean died
so
down?
the point I'm trying to say is that when politicians come into power and they do the wrong things, they should be pursued, even if they have, according to the Constitution, rights of what do you call it? What do they call that thing? Where your time isn't up. Where President Akufo-Addo's what do you call immunity? No. Immunity and the
immunity from prosecution.
Yes,
and the Constitution says that.
And the Public Accounts Committee can see that the finger is pointing at you. That immunity should be taken off and be prosecuted, because unfortunately, it's the ordinary man who suffers. Amen.